Well, hello there. You've come back to Scrollies. Congratulations. Have a seat. Take it easy. Because today, we're going to have a really good conversation for you. We're going to talk about some cool stuff. And, of course, it's me, Team Ratnado. You know me. You know my voice. However, I am here with someone who I know you're all dying to hear. The winner of the first eponymous Squat and Rat, who is more of a monkey fan. The winner... You know his name, but I'll let him say it himself. Yo, I didn't know you spoke Diddy Kong.
Is my native language, monkey.
See, I thought you learned it abroad.
Full immersion learning. They say that's the best way to learn a language.
Yeah, that's true. You did have a lot of fun there on Donkey Kong Island.
Oh, man. Can't wait to go back. The bananas there never spoiled.
Oh my gosh, I remember this kid came back. Oh, the bananas aren't like this on Donkey Kong Island.
You just wouldn't understand. You had to have been there. The pictures don't do it justice. The 16-bit renders, you know, it isn't the same as the full Jurassic Park renders.
Oh, you guys just store things in your barrels?
Oh, we throw things, and it comes out of barrels.
We throw them, we fly in them, we save our data there.
Yeah, think like Gilligan's Island, everything's made with bamboo and coconuts, but barrel tech.
Oh my goodness. That sounds like a pretty good game. I would play Gilligan's Island, the video game. I'm sure we can get the licensing rights with our own in-house studio.
Oh boy, I can't wait to see that culminate in several spin-off franchises that eventually eclipse the original.
Well, Squat Cobbler, what's been going on, man? Here we are. It's mid-August. Things have been happening on your side. I mean, I assume things are happening on your side. I can't really know for sure. What's been happening? What you been playing? What's been good?
Well, I recently maxed out my credit card pre-ordering 3 collector's edition sets with figurehead busts. So, I'm broke, but... We'll get into that later. What I've been playing is a little game called Sea of Thieves, and let me tell you, I am now the proud owner of not a physical ship, though that merchandise may come in time, but 2 digital ships, both named after Donkey Kong assets.
Oh boy.
The Gangplank Galleon, my 4-player mega ship, is styled after the same galleon of said name in Donkey Kong Country. So, or at least as much as I can be with Rare not owning the licenses to all that. It's got a gold crocodile face figurehead. It's got blue, yellow, and red hull painting, which is actually the Banjo-Kazooie skin in the game.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's currently without a crew, because I can't crew it by myself. But in time, perhaps I'll gather enough scallywags and scurvy monks to crew my vessel.
Yeah.
But until then, I'm operating off a much smaller sloop, a single player ship or 2-player that I've named the Golden Banana.
Whoa.
After said main collectible item in DK64. So Ratnado, with these 2 ships, I'm currently making my way into the seas as a Commodore Cobbler, but
he's
not
got
until I have a full crew. Otherwise, I'll be a pretty easy target to sink with 2 ships and only one captain.
You've already. Oh my gosh! You've almost got an armada, dude.
Nearly there. If I keep at the grind, and I don't waste it all on monkey cosmetics. I'll maybe get a 3rd ship. And
waste?
At that point, a waste? No, sorry. Invest.
It's
an investment. It'll come back and benefit me in time.
Yeah. Question, Squat Cobbler. Did you get the deluxe, or did you cheap out? Gangplank Galleon, did you get the Rambi crates?
You know, no Rambi crates were available, unfortunately. The figurehead that looks like On Guard is available if you reach level 50 as a hunter, which means you have to do a lot of fishing, and you have to kill a lot of pigs and chickens and snakes and cook them. And I'm very, very slowly working my way to that, because it's the one figurehead that actually looks like it's an animal buddy. So I know you asked that in jest, but there you go. Is it intentional? I mean, legally speaking, probably not, but it's the same color scheme as On Guard. I mean, if you look it up, just look up like the Animal Buddy On Guard from Donkey Kong Country, and then look up the Hunter's Call level 50 figurehead in Sea of Thieves, and it's basically an exact likeness, just in the art style of Sea of Thieves.
Don't worry, Rare. We're not going to call you out.
Yeah, Nintendo's not listening to this. Nintendo left long ago, and we told them that they were foolish. They were foolish for taking down the eShop, which is happening, I guess not officially until March, but you won't be able to add any more funds in a mere number of days. So if you out there have Wii U's or 3DS's that you want to buy anything on, go and get an eShop card and load it up, because time's ticking. The clock's about to run out. But Ratnado, that's me. I'm just playing some more Sea of Thieves. It's nothing to write home about. It's just the same old, sailing around, collecting treasure, sinking some ships, but more often being sunk by ships because I'm bad at PvP. Tell me, what have you been playing lately?
Okay, all right. Actually, I've been playing some different games, I do think everyone needs to know I'm almost done with A Realm Reborn on Final Fantasy XIV, though.
Wow, man, you and Code Synth grinding away at that for how long now? Oh, it feels like all year, but it's really just been a couple of months, right?
2 months, about. Well, actually, like a month and a half.
Month and a half. Oh man, the Choo Choo Boys have not overstayed their welcome. They are always welcome here on Scrollies and on the Final Fantasy XIV server that you frequent. But what comes next after you finish A Realm Reborn?
Well, we can play the game.
Oh, there's more. What? Wow. This is just the start.
I mean, when this came out, this was kind of the end, but they've done a lot of stuff that makes it so you can beat it in a month and a half, casually, But as I understand it, when A Realm Reborn came out, which is actually the second version of the game, after the first one was very poorly received, and you should go watch the reasons for that and watch the trailer, because it's really cool. But A Realm Reborn, which is kind of the new updated thing that everybody really likes, I guess it was a little bit longer, a little bit more difficult, but luckily we have a Vivian. So that really helped us speed along. And the Choo Choo Boys, we got a house. We got a free company house. Not a company house for free, but a free company and the house for that free company. It actually cost 3 million gil.
Did I hear you say free, Ratnado?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you did.
I just wanted to make sure. Man, that's great. The Choo Choo Boys have a roof over their head. It's probably not on rails, but maybe one day it will be. And I've just learned that Final Fantasy XIV has a month and a half long tutorial, so that's great.
Okay, I'm joking. It is the main game, but we do have recruiting happening. We have a Pal Wow we're going to get on there, and currently we have he's not a hard no. He's not a soft yes. He's just a maybe. A Triple J of Team Gourmet may join us.
How about that? Let's go, Triple J Pal Wow. Joining the Choo Choo Boys. This is wonderful to hear. I wish you the best in your conquests. Once again, I need not turn an eye to Final Fantasy XIV until I've looked back upon Final Fantasy VI, and it's staring me down from the corner right now, saying, "Play me again, Squat. Come on, you can beat Kefka. You just gotta grind. You just gotta grind in the Veld." And I'm like, oh, grinding. Oh, if I must. And I must. You beat DK64, so it's only fair.
Bro, right, and I beat that the bug level, the race level, so
oof.
Come on.
Just the first one, not the second one. But I'm not going to hold that against you.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of things we do for the games we love. There's a lot of things that we wish we could do. You look at a game and you think, if only I could have On Guard at the front of my ship. But sometimes we take that out of the game and into real life.
Whoa. Wait, you're going to put On Guard on the front of your car?
Oh, it's being printed and minted and scented to me as we speak.
Wonderful. Glad to hear it.
Can you just see me cruising down with my little Mazda down the road with this metal, garish looking on guard at the front with a point that the cop's like, yeah, you can't have that.
Yeah, depending which way that's pointing, that could be a javelin. Or a joust. That could be a joust.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking about collectibles. We're talking about stuff that you take outside of the game or merchandise that you keep.
Physical items.
Yeah, you're not. Are you much of a collector?
I am not much of a collector, I would say. I'm one that doesn't really see much value in and again, no shame on anyone else who thinks otherwise. I just, for myself, do not see much value in obtaining and displaying a physical representation of how much of a fan I am of something. But take that with a grain of salt, as I did spend 8 months slowly creating a DIY DK barrel out of an actual wooden barrel. So that might not actually hold true under scrutiny.
I was going to say, well, what about the brown shirt, red tie that you have? The brown pants, brown shirt.
That's just what I wear daily. That's my uniform.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm wearing that right now. Can't you see?
I can see, yeah.
Yeah, it's not merchandise. I just wear this every day.
I don't. Okay,
all right. The way I dress? Do you think I'm trying to make a statement here?
I think it's great. Okay, I think it's good.
Hey, you know what? Maybe you should wear the red shirt and red hat and brown pants.
I kind of get it. I'm put the shirt on. It's a little small on me, but I get it.
Do you want banana?
I kind of do.
Do you want to swing on vine, climb tree?
What are we doing inside? There's a whole world out there, Squat.
Ooh. Now that we've done that, right, Nato, I did once buy a DK Pez dispenser, so there you go. That's my investment into merchandise.
You bought that because it was in the shape of the great ape, or it was made in the fashion of the great ape.
It very well was made in his likeness. That wasn't revealed to me at the time. I didn't know what he looked like, so maybe it was just a sign. It was a sign from the great ape above to acquire said item, and sure enough, I mean, that's exactly what he looks like, a Pez dispenser. I mean, he's existed for all time, so I guess, there's discussion to be had there why Pez dispensers look the way they do. But yeah, I've met him twice, and it's undoubtedly a Pez dispenser looks just like the great ape.
One way or the other, perhaps he was appearing to you in a form that you could recognize as well.
Are you saying that the great ape takes on different forms to those he reveals himself to?
Could be, Squat. Could be.
Oh man, this is too deep for Scrollies. We gotta leave this to the.
We gotta save that for our religious podcast, Holies.
Yeah, we'll leave it to the apeologists.
Well, I think that's fair. I think we've got a lot of educational academic work ahead of us.
Yeah. So that's it for me, Ratnato, as far as merchandise goes. I do have stories. But just yesterday, I was in a box lunch with That's Amori, and I resisted the urge to buy any and all gaming and other related items to franchises I love and hold dear. So my resilience is strong. I'm not forced with Murchie's Choice every time I'm presented something. So I'm lucky in that regard. I know others can't say the same, but yeah, that's it for me. How about for yourself, Ratnato?
Once again, I just want to say this is one of those times where Squat's titles just knock it out of the park. He said Murchie's Choice, and it's so good. And so I'm just gonna
thank you. A little clap. I don't know if I thought of that one in the shower or not, but I'm gonna say I did to keep up with the with the trend we've had.
I don't know if you thought about them before, but we came in. He's just like, I was like, oh yeah, this one, and he's like, let's start with this one, and he's like, oh, Murchie's Choice.
Wait, Ratnado, we have all of our topics nailed down for months ahead of time. We don't just come up with them at the beginning of the recording.
Audio, cut all that out, please.
Yeah, audio, you're editing this one, right? Okay, yeah, that's a yes.
Okay,
Audio's going to cut it out for us. Cool.
All right, thanks. Yeah, no, guess what? I do like collecting things, believe it or not.
Oh, I can see it all behind you, proudly displayed.
All of it. I do enjoy having things. And the thing is, like, even I just enjoy something that is also going to be functional as well. So something that I see a lot of people do that there are things I don't get into, and that's like t-shirts and stuff. There are some exceptions, though. For example, I did have to buy the Mooncat Gab merch shirt. I'm on the pre-order list for the Samsonite D. This is the run pair of socks. So, you know, there's a lot of things like that. Also, people like to do a lot of stuff with just things like for their phones, shirts. One of my favorite things that I used to do back in college is see people wearing the N7 hoodie from Mass Effect.
Ah, yes.
Not because I was a huge Mass Effect fan, but just like, that's really cool. I'm not too big of a Mass Effect head, but I do enjoy seeing that because it's like cool. And I've seen people be like, "Oh, nice jacket," and I'm like, "Yeah, thanks."
Would you say you fancy yourself more of a display on the shelf kind of merchandise collector?
I think so. And it kind of just pairs up with the idea of like, I'm trying to kind of be a video game historian of some things that like I feel people aren't keeping. I like a nice collector's edition of something I'm going to buy anyways. And so for Persona 5, I have the Steelbook. And then for Persona 5 Royal, which was only like, you know, $30 or $40 more, I ended up getting the whole thing because I'm like, I love Persona enough to do this. You know, I think it's really cool.
You know, funny thing you say about collector's editions. It's crazy. They're a little more pricey than the regular one, but I mean, depending on how you're breaking it down and what value you're placing on things, it's more value for your money's worth.
Yeah.
Doobie Teen, rest in peace. He at a point was trying to cut back on the number of games he had because he had played through a good chunk of his PS4 library. So it's like, I'm gonna get a chunk of change and maybe I'll invest it back into something down the road. So we're like, all right, Doobie, good luck with that. So he left. He went off to GameStop or somewhere equivalent that was going to give him pennies on the dollar for what he brought in. So he left. We're like, all right, he's gonna come back with like, $50 or something. I mean, probably not even that much, but he's going to come back a little bit. He came back with no money, and he had actually spent some cash additionally to what he traded in. But for the trade-in value of about maybe 12 PS4 games, he got one Catherine's Full Body collector's set. And it had a few things in it. It had a little sheep plushie. I haven't played the game, so I don't know how this stuff relates, but I do remember seeing it all displayed. It had a sheep plushie. I think it had a little like pair of underwear or something, but it was like small. It wasn't like person sized.
Right.
It obviously had the game in there, and it had a couple other little knickknacks. But collector sets. They're you don't always know what you're going to get with them. Sometimes you get a lot of things. Sometimes you just get a bust of like a character. I know there were some Halo ones that had the Master Chief helmet. Ratnado, I have in fact bought a collector's edition set before.
Ooh, wait, what?
Yeah, I did.
What?
Well, let me just say it was my most anticipated game in recent memory, so that might jog your memory a little. But I'll give you a little rundown of how this story all went down. So, Metroid Dread, announced at E3 last year, 2021, perhaps the last E3 ever. So
yeah,
that's how you remember that one. It was announced, and along with it, after the E3 panel, they did a little treehouse, and they said somewhere in there, or shortly afterwards online, hey, there's going to be, obviously the standard like physical release, but there'll also be this collector set, and it's going to have like art book, and it's going to have a little like decals and stuff in it. And I was like, oh, cool, I would love to get that. I'm not much of a collector's guy, but this is a really long-awaited game. I'm a big Metroid fan. So let me go online and see how much it is. Whew, $80, that's a steep price. Well, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it just because I'm a fan. I'm gonna do it for the hype. And then I clicked checkout and sold out. And I'm like, how does it sold out? It literally just got announced. The scalpers jumped on it like they always do, and they bought them all up so they could sell them at an inflated eBay price. And I was like, really? They had to do it on this? So I was like, well, maybe the takeaway from this is the game's going to be sold out everywhere. I won't be able to have it. So a couple days later, I was out at work, like far from my house, about an hour plus drive away. Yeah. And I was thinking, I'm like, oh man, if the game like sells out, I mean, obviously I can get it digitally, but I'm going to want like a physical copy. So, you know what? I'm on lunch right now. I'm going to drive over to the nearest GameStop and pre-order a physical copy of Metroid Dread. So I went over there. They didn't have any of the collector's editions there available for pre-order. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to get the standard one. And they're like, oh, by the way, you have to like come to this location in order to pick it up.
Oh
like,
my
it can't be delivered to your house, and you can't have it transferred to another GameStop. So I'm like, probably should have said no, but I said, all right, that's fine. So then months later, when Metroid Dread released, I was not working in that area at all anymore. So I made the hour plus drive up there to get just the standard physical copy that you could have gotten from literally anywhere because I pre-ordered it from there. I picked it up and you know, I did check like online, the collector's edition was still sold out, but they were saying, oh, you know, maybe you can show up at the store and ask, like they'll have a few copies available there to just buy. So I was like, you know, I'll go up there and I'll just see. So I went up there and they're like, oh, we just sold out of those this morning. They went in like 15 minutes. I'm like, you know, should have come it open. But that's how it goes, right?
Yeah.
So I pick up my regular old standard physical edition copy of Metroid Dread. I drive back so I could start streaming it because I streamed it the day it came out. And on my way back, I'm like, you know, I never even checked the GameStop that was right by my house to see if they had anything in stock. Maybe I should stop on the way home. So I called them up. I said, hey, do you have any of the collector's edition Metroid Dread? They're like, oh, yeah, we still have some. And I'm like, sweet. I'll be there in like half an hour. Because I was still heading back home. So I went to the GameStop that was 5 minutes from La Casa, and they had not even opened the box that they were all in because no one had come in for them yet. So, long story short, I got the collector's edition of Metroid Dread on release day, and I also had a standard edition that I gave to that guy as a birthday present. So,
it sounds perfect. I mean, a happy story. Everyone ended up getting what they wanted.
Everyone wins. Yeah, especially that guy. He's I'm sure enjoyed the minutes that he's put into it, if even that. And yeah, that's how that goes. And for those of you wondering, I have yet to crack open the art book and actually read it. And the decals are literal cardboard, so I just kind of looked at them, said, that's neat, and then put them back in. So that's the usual story with collector's editions, right, Ratnado?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, the thing is, too, is part of it is just like, if they do make a good collectible, there's a lot of them that just come with like that. Like, hey, here's some stickers, here's a patch, here's so on and so forth. But some of it is useful stuff. I think my favorite kind of collectible stuff is things that you can like actually use. Like I said, the Mass Effect jacket was kind of cool. I have, despite how bad the game is, the Star Fox Zero patch, Star Fox patch. That's one of my favorite patches. I had it on a backpack, but I took it off and was going to put it on something else, and I probably will at some point. But that was really cool. You know, just things like that really are like just neat items to have. The Persona 5 Royal Collector's Edition came with Joker's mask, and that can go on display. And I actually had that when I was streaming. I had it back there, and that was like the number one thing. I had like 5 people ask like, hey, what is the mask? Tell me about the mask. And or being like, oh, Persona 5, yeah, that's a sick mask, I love it. And so I don't know, things like that are kind of cool to have. For me, I just started a new thing, which is I was just on eBay or something came up. I'm showing them to Squat right now.
Oh my gosh! It smells like childhood.
It does.
It's a Final Fantasy VII complete in box action figures of Cloud and Aerith.
Yep. I just started on them because I saw Cloud for like a pretty good price. I remember I thought about him. This is the Extra Night series that came out back in like 1997, like 98, whenever it was. Actually came out. And I remember seeing them on shelves and being like, oh, those are cool. But I was a kid. I didn't end up buying them. And before I played it, I didn't know how much I loved Final Fantasy VII. I remember looking at them before Final Fantasy VII Remake came out. They weren't that expensive, but I was kind of just like, I don't know. I'm not really that kind of a guy. And then Remake came out and everything like tripled in price. And I kind of told myself, if it goes back down, I'll get them, just because, like you said, it's a collector's, because it just makes me happy to see him.
You hear that, Ultradronic, for his conflicted feelings on the Final Fantasy VII Remake. It sparked some of that childhood wonder in him again to revisit some of his old toys, and to eBay he went.
To eBay I went.
And here they are in his possession. That's great. That's great. Yeah. I don't know if I had a lot of toys centered around video games growing up, now to think about it. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe that has a factor into whether or not you go for merchandise later on, as if you partook in that as a kid. But Ratnado, I've seen some of your other items, fairly impressive ones, like the Fallout Pip-Boy.
Ooh, yes! That is kind of like your story, actually.
Well, let's hear it. I gave a long-winded story, now you have to too.
Well, I remember I was at work, and we were all just sitting around, E3, whatever they announced Fallout 4 on. And I remember I was just sitting there watching on my phone, working at my computer, and they made the announcement like, yeah, coming out this November, pre-orders are open out now. It came out with this really cool case, the Steelbook of Fallout 4, and an actual Pip-Boy. So I remember I did it it's kind of like you said. As they said it, I went and I ordered. And I was telling my other friends, I think I might even texted Warstaff, did you see that? It's going on sale. And they're like, yeah, get me one, and I'll pay you back or whatever. It was kind of literally my PS5 where I refreshed, sold out. Pre-orders are filled. We're not taking any more orders. And up to the point that it came, I remember looking at it and just looking at eBay just for fun. And then when it came out, looking at eBay, and there was a point where people were offering $400 for it.
I mean, it's impressive. It's a little impressive thing that you got. I've seen it displayed proudly on stream before, and it's nice. It's really nice. Yeah. That's cool. Now, Ratnado, these are all items of merchandise that we've chosen to partake in, that we've selected ourselves. What about when that choice is made for you, and you just have a vague theme applied to it, such as with loot boxes? Remember those?
Oh boy! Hey, I'm a member of the Loot Club.
Ah, you do you remember which affiliated promo code you used for the subscription? Because no one just bought it outright. Everyone used some kind of sponsorship from some YouTuber, or probably even podcasts back in the day when they were a big thing.
Yeah, I think I did. I think it was from a podcast, actually, the one that I got it from, which I won't say, because again, if people go and listen to them, they'll know I'm just a ripoff of them. So I can't tell you who they are.
Some vague entity podcast out there with an affiliated code for Lootbox. I mean, there's got to be thousands of them with how many sponsorships Lootbox gave out.
Yeah,
it's not really a thing anymore. I never had one myself. I've seen some items from them, from just friends wearing a t-shirt, or just showing me I got this little knickknack from Lootbox. What was your experience with that, Ratnado? Did you regret your subscription to Lootbox at a point, or did you feel like you got your money's worth out of it?
Yeah, I think that their advertising was way off. They tried to make it seem like this big, huge thing, and you're getting stuff at such a cheap price, and that's not really why I did it. I did it for nerd stuff, which, it was kind of cool. I mean, that was the time everyone was doing a random box every month, right? There was all these different things that you could do. And I remember I signed up, and I think in my first one, I got a little cool Mega Man stand with the Mega Man helmet. And I was like, this is neat. I like Mega Man. And, I didn't do it forever. I did it for 7 or 8 months just because, hey, it made me happy and there were some cool things. Overall, not that great. How much of the stuff that I actually keep? Not really any of it. But, but I do see shirts out now, and I'm like, Loot Crate.
Yeah, you know when you see it, you're like, that screams Loot Crate.
Yep,
it's just themed enough without being a premium licensed product.
Yes, I too was a Loot Crate subscriber in July of 2013.
It's the fraternity of Loot Crate subscribers. The bonds run deep, even to this day, when they're basically a thing of the past. Yeah. I always thought, if I was gonna buy stuff, I would just get it like myself, because I'm sure pretty much everything in Loot Crates weren't exclusive. You could buy them all individually, but hey, to each their own. If you like having, it's like a present. You're getting a present each month from a company that you're giving money to. So there you go.
I will say something for you, Squat. Probably the best item I ever got out of it.
Ooh, yes.
Is an apron that I do use to this day, but it's currently in packing while I'm trying to find a new place to live. My Los Pollos Hermanos apron.
Oh my gosh. Oh, this isn't a TV show podcast, so I can't get too in-depth in it, but let me just say, everyone, my namesake show ended last week, Better Call Saul, and muy bueno. I was very satisfied and happy at the end. I hope they make some kind of video game so we can tie it into the greater discussion at some point down the road.
Rockstar licensed game. Oh wait, am I getting ahead of myself?
Ooh, I mean, hey, GTA Online.
Look,
my character's modeled after Heisenberg, so
yeah,
it's a Breaking Bad game in my heart.
Yeah, maybe Rockstar will license it out, and who knows. But I know I've shared that picture. I took a picture of that apron, and I think I sent it.
I think I've seen it. Yes, it's
yeah.
Oh man,
it's somewhere on the Thick Boys Discord.
Somewhere deep in the archives.
I will say though, like, I am starting to get a little bit more into merch. I think the older I get, the more I feel like I'm getting a little more. They say that your 30s, you dress like the kid you wanted to be in your teens, and if that's true, I'm buying like video game shirts, and I'm gonna get like I don't have them right here, but I've got a Legion flight ring. I've got the Ring of Barahir from the Lord of the Ring, Aragorn's ring, and I'm getting a ninja symbol ring from Final Fantasy XIV, and all these kind of things. There's just like, I don't know, that I think that's what I like about it, is it's just a kind of a way to go out and also like show people, like, meet people. Hey, look, I'm a Final Fantasy XIV player. Oh, you're a scholar, you're an astrologian, you're, all these kind of things. And I've seen people out there. This guy I work with, he came with a mask with the Final Fantasy XIV symbol, and that's why I was like, hey, I haven't played that game yet, but I know what it is.
Hey, it's the perfect time in your life to where your nostalgia, your finances, and your desire to display your interests are all perfectly aligned together. And, hey, like I said, not really my style, but if people like doing that, if people like showing off the things they're into, and it alerts people around them, hey, I don't know, I'm into that too, dude, that's awesome. And then you guys talk about it. That's great. I think that's great.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. What are the things that you like to buy? Or is there any kind of merch you have? Is there something that you've, thought about buying or decided not to? Is it clothes? Is it figurines? Is it, who knows? All manner of things. Sometimes people get practical stuff like phone cases or backpacks. I don't know. I guess I'm the type of person who loves video games enough to like kind of feel like tastefully there are things I can incorporate into my actual life that aren't a little, not too much, but subtle nods. And like, this is an actually great backpack anyways, not just a reference to a video game or something.
Yeah. Hey, listener, if you have anything you want to show off, if you have any pictures of anything that you found in stores and you want to share them, please post them in the Discord. We might even throw some stuff up on Instagram that we've collected over the years, and yeah, let's see it. Let's all share our favorite merch.
There you go. Well, I think that's it, Squat Cobbler. Thanks for talking to me about this. This is actually some of my favorite stuff. I come from a time when capitalism and buying things was very strong, and I don't like to just buy everything, but there are things that just give me comfort just to look at and have.
Oh, well, hey, that's all you really want from your purchases at the end of the day. So, absolutely. Thank you guys for listening to this episode. It's been great having you here. We will be coming back at you next week with a follow-up to our composers list that we did a few weeks back, or that we did a couple months ago. We're going to be doing our number 2 out of 5 individually, so be looking forward to that. That's coming your way real soon.
Yep. Thank you for listening to Scrollies, and we'll see you next time. Bye!
See ya!